time. There's no yesterday, no tomorrow. Just today.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 action thriller horror Jurassic Triangle. The film is directed by Victor de Almeida and it stars Daryl Griggs, Sian Altman, Audrey Pierre, Dorothea Jones and Rob Kirtley. Right, okay, this is a low-budget, British-made movie, and it focuses on a group of colleagues that are going away on like a professional team building somewhat or other, I guess, and they're all in helicopters, as you do. And they get sucked into some kind of mysterious portal, and they end up crash landing on a mysterious island that they discover is populated by vicious beasties, and most of them are of the Jurassic kind. It's then for them to try and survive as best they can and figure out a way off the island. Right. What are my thoughts on Jurassic Triangle? Okay. The film is really low budget, okay, so I mean you need to go into this film and kind of reset your expectations, if you like. This is not Jurassic Park Lost World by any stretch of the imagination, and what it's kind of trying to do, that is trying to do a cross between that and, you know, the Bermuda Triangle. The idea of an island kind of sucking in unsuspecting passengers of airplanes and all that kind of stuff, and for them to become picnic snacks for Jurassic beasties is quite an interesting premise, to be fair. It's not overly new or anything, but it's an interesting premise. However, I do say this a lot on low-budgeted films. The budget massively lets the film down in every department. The performances, while I've seen worse, are still pretty bad from many of the cast. Yeah, you know, there's no sense wailing on it, sort of thing. It's just not the best. It's one of those films as well, you know, where you've got people who need to be acting like military soldiers or military types, and you know, it's quite clear a toy gun's been put in their hand and they said, right, act like a soldier. You know, there's no rhythm to how they move, there's no coordination, there's no even illusion that there's any skill involved with these people in regards to being soldiers. And then you've got these so-called colleagues that are all on these two helicopters that are supposed to be going on this trip, sort of thing, and most of them, you know, they hate each other for the most part. Some of them, I mean, again, it's tick boxing exercise. You've got some that you kind of like, well, they're going to be like the final characters, or, you know, and then you've got some that are like, well, you're dinosaur food immediately when you get to the island. And it does pretty much turn out how you would expect in regards to the characters. But the problem is, none of them are made even remotely interesting in regards to fleshing out of the characters at all. And this is what frustrates me so much about some of these movies. They put so much effort into like the idea, and then they'll put, you know, the rest of the money they've got into other areas, probably catering, I don't know. But, and to be fair, I'm being a bit cruel there, but the effects here for a film of this low budget, you know, are passable at best. But if they just invested a bit more time into this writing of the characters and the story, and give characters interesting arcs, and not just faceless, nameless characters that are just there to be munched. You know, give us compelling and interesting characters, and the film absolutely fails to do that on any level, really. So you just end up watching these characters, you know, getting chased around by what can only really be described as like poorly rendered CGI monsters, and some of them are kind of nondescript as well. I mean, they're not just like Jurassic creatures like T-Rexes and pterodactyls. There's these other things as well, as like giant spiders, and these other things that just look very, very odd. But again, there's no real time put into build any tension, or and these are things that regardless of budget you can do. Okay, you might not have the best actors, you might not have the best effects, but you can kind of make it a bit more thrilling here and there, or do some clever writing here and there to make it a little bit more interesting to watch. But unfortunately it doesn't really do it, and you end up rooting for no one and kind of rooting for the beasties, to be fair. So, well, I would go as far as to say there is some entertainment value here, just not a great deal. It has to be honest, and it's kind of fun watching these low budget B movies, and if you accept them for what they are, then there is a little bit of fun and entertainment to be had in it. But there's not an awful lot to recommend here. There's a couple of areas that are passable and watchable, but the rest of it is just, let's go away for the weekend and film in the forest and spend, £2.75 in a packet of cheese and onion crisps all round for all the cast and crew, and then we've put a film. We'll wrap it up, put it in the bag, and send it to my brother, who lives on his own in his bedroom, and he'll do the special effects for us. I'm being a bit cruel there, but that's kind of how these movies feel now. I've seen so many of these low-budgeted British-made movies that there's very few of them get beyond a 4 out of 10. There's very, very few of them at all, really, other than the ones that are either intentionally or unintentionally funny. Those are the ones that are my sort of favourites in this genre. So, yeah. I can't really recommend this one, guys. No surprises there. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back, of course, plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.